We have somebody back in town, a familiar face to Argo fans, but we can introduce him now as the head coach of your Toronto Argonauts. Corey Chamblin, congratulations.
Thank you.
This took about 2 weeks to get done.
Yeah.
Are you surprised at how easy the process was, or was it a little more tough than we from the outside see?
No, it was pretty thorough on the inside. I'd been up here a couple of times, met with the ownership, leadership in different aspects. It wasn't just, hey, come in town, let's shake hands and get it done. There had to be a lot of work done from both sides, but I'm excited that we were able to get something done.
In this town, you're known as a defensive coordinator. In Saskatchewan, you had the head coach as well, coach of the year, Grey Cup under your belt. How would you define Corey Chamblin football?
Well, at the end of the day, it's about winning all day, every day, and all that you do. And that's on the field, that's off the field, and it's just about having that mindset. That anytime we take the field, we got to win. Whether it's a rep, whether it's a period, whatever it may be. It's just about we have to put a winning product on the field, and we have to make sure that we're winning as ourselves outside of this game.
Now with personnel, some coaches are hands-off. They say, general manager, Jim Pop, go get me players and I'll coach them. Others are more hands-on. How would you describe yourself in terms of acquiring players?
Well, I think it's hands-on, but what I mean by hands-on is really Jim and I sitting down and meshing together on, hey, this is what we're looking for, this is what we have to have. The unique thing about working for Jim Pop is he has a winning history of bringing in talent. So, I don't worry about it. I'm not going to pick the talent, just addressing the needs that we need and what's the concerns, but making sure that I keep my eyes on that, making sure that I understand, the roster the way we need to be, and Jim and I just meshing those things. And we've done a good job over the last couple of days of ironing out how we think the roster should be.
I can imagine players, especially on the defensive side of the football, are going to want to come here now.
Yeah.
Not saying they did before, but you've cut a good reputation in this league as not only a successful coach, but a player's coach. They come for you. Let me ask you then, when it comes to defense, why do you think players play for you the way they do? Some coaches just seem to have that it factor, right? That extra intangible. You have that. Why do you think that is?
I mean, at the end of the day, my whole thing is whatever they're able to do, I'm going to allow them to do it to the best of their ability. I take a lot of time, looking at each player, evaluating each player, seeing what their strengths and weaknesses are, and trying to put them in a position to be successful. This is it's a football game, and that's what it is, a game. And the other thing is I make it to where it's so simple for them that, it's just like them playing when they're 9 and 10 years old. I don't put a lot of pressure in terms of having the thickest playbook. I don't believe in that. I just want those guys to use all their talents and abilities to the best of their ability, and they just enjoy that. And then on a day-to-day basis, whether it's offensive, defensive player, they're going to know who they're dealing with. So they get the truth on a day-to-day basis on where they stand. They never have to wonder where they stand. So, those are just some of the things that some guys like.
Most successful coaches seem to take different attributes from different coaches along the way. You've been doing this for a long time now, but when it comes to that intangible of getting guys to play for you, who do you think you got that from?
The one thing, and when you look at that philosophy, that mindset, I've been around a lot of great coaches, whether they're championships north of the border or south of the border, but I have to give that credit once again to my mother, Edith. and a lot of people don't hear that, but she was the best coach because that's who shaped my mind. And like I said, the one thing that she's always told me is if you put your mind to it, you can do it. And as simple as that sound, that's been true to me, and that's the same thing with the players. That once again, that's getting the best out of all the talent, God-given talent and abilities that you have. Is if you can wrap your mind around it, you can make it happen. When I look at it, that's just what it's been. And there's along the way, I've learned some things from all the different coaches and organization and a lot of those things and how to draw up a defense. And I mentioned those guys throughout my career, but at the end of the day, that foundation was set with my mother. And hey, you have to put your mind to something, and you got to get it done.
You went down south last year. Part of the reason was family oriented. You've got a young family. Will they be up here full time, or how's this going to work out?
Not right now at this point, but they'll be up here for all the home games, and they'll spend time in the summers and transition up, as this tenure goes. Not all at one time. So, but they're excited. My kids are excited because they think now they can run around on the football field because Daddy's the head coach. My wife's excited. She's Canadian, even though she's from Calgary, but she's excited about this opportunity, and it's something that we've looked forward to being a head coach, and we'll embrace that. But that first year is going to be about the grind and the work and getting us right back to where we need to be.
What's it feel like being in this room again?
You know what? It actually feels like home. And when I first came back, they were showing me all the new things. I'm like, okay, I've seen this. It's home. Let's get to work. So I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to have an opportunity to lead this organization, and just ready to roll.
What's your biggest memory, or I guess the most vivid memory you have from the 2017 season, whether it be the Grey Cup, East Final, or just the entire experience of being an Argonaut?
You know, the biggest thing for me, I think the biggest turning point in that season, it wasn't just from a personal, but it was the Eastern Final, and when we were playing Saskatchewan, you know, and I think it was one of those things to where that was a battle. You know, it wasn't just because I was going to get against Chris, my old mentor, or Saskatchewan, my old team, but at the same time, I thought that, you know, that was just something that I always remember. I went home and I watched that game more than I did the Grey Cup, just because I thought that was the battle. You know, and Wally Buono's always said it best, how the finals, you know, are a little bit different from the Grey Cup. And we did win the Grey Cup. I'll always cherish that. But that final, you know, that was it. That was grit on grit, defense on defense, and those are the type of games you want from a defensive standpoint.
In closing, do you have a message for the fan base who is looking for better things in 2019 than we had in 2018?
You know, the one thing I'll tell you is it's not about words, it's about actions. You know, and on a daily basis, we have to do the things that we need to do to be able to reach that common purpose. And you know, that's our mindset. We'll do that, and in turn, doing that, we look to produce positive results on a game-by-game basis.
Welcome back. It's great to see you here, and can't wait to see you on the field.
Thanks.
It's Corey Chamblin, your new head coach with the Toronto Argonauts.